Former partner at Microsoft Ventures. He's now the CEO of Irreverent Labs, and he joins us. Great to have you on. I think you were part of, the people watching on, anticipating that this merger will probably happen. What is your reaction to it being blocked?
I was surprised, to be honest with you. I don't think the CMA is doing anyone any favors with this, other than maybe the regulators who can say, yeah, we stopped Microsoft from doing this deal with Activision. It doesn't make sense. That's my first thought.
Well, I mean, they say that it's going to stifle competition in cloud gaming markets. Do you agree with that there is some truth to that?
No, not at all. I mean, cloud gaming is so small, generally speaking. Microsoft has already agreed to give Call of Duty to NVIDIA for their cloud gaming. Cloud gaming is a small part of the market. I don't know. I don't think they fully understand what cloud gaming is. And I think they were just looking for something or anything to say that this is the reason why we're shutting it down. I think there's much bigger opportunities with regards to the IP, movie rights, maybe using it to train their AI, things like that. But the CMA didn't talk about any of that stuff. They just focus directly on gaming, and they're going to hurt Activision for this. They're going to help maybe the shareholders temporarily. I think the shareholders might be a little happy because Microsoft might have been overpaying for it based on the market. So I just don't think they're doing anybody any favors except maybe Microsoft shareholders for now. But, at the end of the day, this is just terrible for the UK, I think.
Look, I think there was a lot of speculation that there might have been other players that could be interested in Activision. Do you think that we'll see some new companies emerge circling this?
No, not at that price. No, I don't. I think that if this deal expires and Activision gets the $3 billion, cancellation fee, I really think this is just a slow death nail in the culture at Activision. All it's doing is it's creating more confusion amongst the people that are working there, and it's just going to be a culture destroyer. I think this is the beginning of the end of a really, really great, company with some great products that could have been 5 times what it is right now under Microsoft. But
so
with
Rahul,
this deal
you're
not
saying
happening,
you're saying that basically you're saying if this deal doesn't happen, this could spell the end of Activision. That's the dire situation
so.
you're.
I think just culturally, yes, absolutely. I think culturally they were already kind of in challenges, coming into the deal, and and Microsoft was going to bring a lot of structure and comfort to the place where people were sort of unsure about their jobs and their future, and the culture was quite aggressive there. You probably read some things about Activision in the past, and none of that would have survived under Microsoft's leadership. I think this is really bad for Activision if it doesn't go through. They need to make this happen.
Yeah. I think there was major fear, and I mean, we've heard that from US and European regulators, that Microsoft would basically get control over various games. And I think Call of Duty was mentioned quite a few times. Why is there a fear that emerged in this regard, that Microsoft would basically be dominating?
This is an old school fear of tech in general. Back in the days of being very few tech companies, and if you recall way back when Microsoft Windows was under antitrust with the U.S. government in the 1980s or 90s or whatever it was. This is kind of the same thing, where people are thinking that if Microsoft gets a hold of Call of Duty, somehow they're going to have a monopoly in gaming. It's just so not true. It's far from reality. None of it makes sense. The reasoning that the CME has for doing this makes no sense. If they had talked about things like IP rights as it pertains to OpenAI and the partnerships there and things like that, and they had some good reason, maybe you could kind of squint and see something there. But at the end of the day, I just think nobody wins from this decision today.
Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting insight. What about innovation in the space? With a deal like this not going through or falling through, does it hurt more innovation within the space?
Well, I think what it does is it makes it challenging to think about innovating in certain markets, for example. Like if you're a startup, are you going to start up in the UK, or are you going to choose another country? If you're innovating in the space, are you worried about regulators kind of stifling your innovation, things like that? I mean, that's a real worry. It's a worry in the US and in other industries, and certainly it would be a worry for me if I were starting up a new company. We're worrying about regulators kind of regulating by enforcement, or sort of pushing their opinions on something that they may not know enough about. And clearly, based on this decision, they really don't understand cloud gaming. And I agree with Brad Smith on this. I think it's just,
very quickly, Rahul, do you believe that they can get this appeal, that they can push and motivate to get this through?
Well, I mean, maybe based on the reaction today, possibly. Like I think there's been enough people on TV kind of talking about this that they might possibly, say, well, maybe we should have let this happen. But other than that, I don't think so. So, if there's enough public pressure,
I'm going to get into trouble for this. How many screens do you have in front of you right now? I feel like you're in your game room.
Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and one giant one. So 5.
I knew it. Yeah. Rahul, great to have you on. Thank you so much.